And here we go. Digital Adel back with another Hoops Profile Beyond the Backboard podcast for you with my co-host, Matt Hanifan. How are you doing today, Matt?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing outstanding. For those that aren't part of the 5 Reasons Sports Discord, we got a little thing going on amongst the hosts. It seems that I'm the only one that's taken up the challenge so far where we're trying to get back in shape. Well, me in particular. Everybody knows my story. I'm not going to rehash that with the back injury and the Achilles. The point is, I'm feeling good enough to get back into shape. And so my 5 a.m. workouts from back when I used to hoop are coming back. You joining me, Matt?
I haven't yet.
That's all good. It's not for everybody, man. It's not for everyone. But the point is, I'm sore as heck. Today was leg day. It wasn't a super intense leg day, but it was leg day. And so I'm really sore. But I'm feeling good. And that's the great thing about waking up at 5 a.m. to work out. The energy carries through the whole day. Like, you really don't have a period of where you're feeling down. The first week, you may be a little sleepy because you're getting up at 5 a.m. But anyway.
Yeah, right.
Other than that, it's great. So for the people watching on playback and our YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe. We are going to get into our big board for 2025 NBA draft.
Or at least an updated big board 2 months out.
It's 2 months out, but let's do this. I will call it version 1 because the first one we did was really like a top 20.
Yeah.
It wasn't even, it wasn't even really a full big board. So we'll call that one a top 20. I got my windows all screwed up here, so let me just merge these 2 tabs so I can see the chat in the playback and also see the chat on YouTube. Real quick too, I want you guys to follow along. So if you're listening on playback or you're watching on YouTube or listening on YouTube, let us know what you think of our boards. You can be overly critical. I don't care. But I want to preface what a big board really and truly is. It isn't really like where you think the player is going to be drafted. It's, do you think this player, in your eyes, is better than the players below? Like, you're literally ranking the players on how well you think their NBA careers are going to be. And so you can't really include fit. You can't really include who their teammates are going to be because we don't know any of those things. I'll give you a great example. I knew Stephon Castle wasn't going to go number 1. I knew that. He was number 1 on my big board in that draft. Because that's who I thought was going to be the best player to come out of that draft class. Now, this big board may be a little more chalky for certain reasons, but we'll get into that. Let me know what you guys think about big boards in the comments. And as we go through this thing, we're going to share our screen and kind of go over it. So I'll share mine. Matt, you can just kind of talk your way through yours, I guess.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, like, the top is going to be pretty similar, but
chalk. Well, that was Sean's favorite meme during the tournament. Chalk. All right, it was a giant squirrel too yelling chalk.
Yeah,
that meme was hilarious. All right, so let's get right into this thing. I'm not going to keep it a secret or make it a mystery. Let me zoom in so it's easier for our peeps to see.
There's the link that you can click. Like, you could copy and paste that link above where it says like share big board, and you can copy and paste that and it should pop up. So
see, I thought about that, but I want to be able to move it around if I choose. Because this is fluid. So if I'm like talking myself into moving a player, I kind of
you can still do that at a different date. It's just easier for the viewers.
But. Oh no, I meant today, like on air. Like I want to.
Okay.
If I talk myself into somebody being above somebody else, I'm just gonna move them.
Okay, I see what you mean.
And if somebody in the audience is like, "Hey, I think this guy should be higher," and you make a compelling case, I probably won't move him, but I could. I just like having that flexibility. But yeah, man.
I'll listen, but I'm not going to do it anyway. No.
Correct. You are correct. You're not the boss of me. I'm just kidding. But yeah, man, let's get right into it. Right off the bat, number one on the big board out of these 60 prospects, we're not gonna go through all 60, but the 60 that I have on my board, number one, Mr. Capture the Flag himself, Cooper Flag. No debate, right?
Nope. I already saw the first like 6 or 7.
I know, man. It's the magic of television. Just pretend you didn't. Number two, Dylan Harper. 6'6" guard, no debate.
Yep.
Number three might be a little bit of a debate. I got Trey Johnson. And I'll tell you why. I feel like him and Ace Bailey do the exact same things. Tough shot makers, elite footwork, and how they get to their shots. Easily bounce right into your shots. Good positional size and length. But Trey Johnson, to me, doesn't fade when the competition gets tougher. And he's a natural leader. I do believe that Ace Bailey is going to have a little bit better defensive ability at the next level. But I think Trey Johnson could change your franchise. What do you think, Matt?
I mean, I think both can.
I think, all right, let's preface this. In this draft, anybody probably in the top 5 has the potential, or even top 6, to be potentially a franchise-changing player. I think Trey Johnson has all the mental and intangibles, not just to go with his elite skill and playmaking, which is also better than people think.
Yeah.
To go with that, to be a franchise-changing talent. So I'm putting Trey Johnson above Ace Bailey. What do you got to say about that?
That's fine.
You know, that's not very entertaining, Matt. Who do you have at number 3?
See, you and I scroll down a little bit on yours for the viewers. I have 3 and 5 flipped.
3 and 5 flipped. So you have VJ Edgecombe as the number 3 talent in this draft.
Yes. And I think the thing that sells me with VJ over Ace and Trey, given their skill levels, obviously they're all 3 of them are different players to a certain extent. Like I feel like just in a vacuum, I feel most comfortable the ball in his hands, Trey Johnson, than I do VJ Edgecombe or Ace Bailey. Like if I'm having to like create, but like athletically, I feel better about VJ than I do Ace and Trey. Defensively, I feel better about VJ than I do Ace and Trey.
Right.
And I think him having that kind of raw athleticism, we saw how much better he got really in every area throughout the year. We're breaking our own record here by saying that, yeah, we want to see what some of these guys' measurements look like at the combine.
Right.
And obviously that could, between a couple of different spots, that could, shift players up and down our board, just based on the measurables and like how confident we are given their skill set, what we saw, through 20, 30 plus games of film. I mean, you could really, for me, like anywhere like 3 and 5, like you could talk me into any of these guys being 3.
Right. You're not going to be sad if you walk out of this draft with either one of those.
Yeah. And so it's like I have VJ above Ace, and then I have Ace above Trey. It's like the thinnest of thin margins. I think Ace has higher defensive upside than Trey. And he's, I think, more positionally versatile than Trey.
Yeah.
Or he could be in the right context. And so that was kind of like my tiebreaker, even though it's like it's so darn close any way you want to slice the pie with all 3 of these guys.
And that makes a lot of sense. The thing I think about Ace Bailey that gets misconstrued is people don't think he's athletic, but I think he's actually very athletic.
He is athletic.
Yeah. And I think he has better perimeter defensive capabilities than people are giving him credit for. And at 6'10", with that size and wingspan, I just think with the shot making ability and the offensive chops that he has, it's just too much to pass up on. And I love VJ Edgecombe. I think VJ Edgecombe's the best athlete in the entire draft.
Yeah.
And he did get better in all areas. Good point of attack defender. I hate to say I don't see the dog in him, but I don't see the dog in him. And that could just be his personality. But Tim Duncan didn't look like he had the dog in him. And he was one of the most competitive players on the court every single night. Any big situation, Tim Duncan was showing up. So
yeah,
you can't always go by that. But also when Baylor really needed him, he did get to the lane. He was able to use his screen navigation, got better as the year went on. His ability to get paint touches in the half court sets, not just the open court, got better. So, I mean, there's a lot there. And I'm not, it's splitting hairs at this point. But I have VJ number 5. Number 6. I got to mess around with this because I still had Malawach at number 6 because it was kind of like how I thought he was going to get drafted. But do I think he's better than Kaspar Siakachonis? Now, you'll see some other big boards that think Kaspar Siakachonis isn't as good as Jeremiah Fears or Jace Richardson.
Yeah.
I think people are getting too enamored with his lack of vertical athleticism, and they're not really giving him enough credit for coming in, and he was averaging almost 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists per game all season until he had that like abysmal stretch. And then it went down to 15 points per game and was it like 5 and 4 and a half? So
something like that, yeah.
That's still an outstanding balanced player that gives you the ability to make tough shots and take tough shots when you need them on the perimeter. Not to mention his ability to get to the free throw line, the NBA body type. I think he's going to have really big hands just by watching him play. He does turn the ball over quite a bit. But the more I talk about this, I'm probably moving Casp above Kaman Malawach. So I'll put Casp at 6. Who do you got at 6, man?
Con Knipple.
K2. Let's go. I love it. I love it, man. Con Knipple, outstanding player. In fact, I can't move him above Casp, but I can put him right below. I can be convinced of that.
I could be convinced that Casp is better than Con, but I have Con. I feel so much better about like the shooting, the secondary ball handling.
Right.
To me, they're on the same plane defensively. And that's not a knock on Con. That's more of talking up Casp.
Right.
Defensively, like, again, 2 different players with 2 different skill sets.
Right. Absolutely.
So, like, but they're in like that kind of same. I actually have them back to back. I have Con and Casp 6 and 7. So,
like I said, I could easily be convinced of that. In fact, I moved Con up 1.
Yeah.
Because Con Knipple, I think he has better ball handling capabilities than he's shown. Well, hey, I can't even say that because during the tournament run, especially when Coop was out right during conference play, he showed his ball handling chops, and not only in the PNR but bringing the ball up the floor. Like he's capable of that, and the ability for him to be able to create and get paint touches and his finishing at the rim. The numbers of him finishing at the rim is just outstanding. Do I think he's 6'7"? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about that.
To me, he looks 6'6", 6'7".
He plays like it. He's a freaking brick wall, but I don't know, man.
Both players are very strong.
Very strong. Both of them have NBA strength. Con doesn't have an NBA body type, but he's got NBA strength.
And both players are athletically challenged. Like specifically like vertically challenged athletically. But
Casp more than Con.
I would say Con is not. I would probably actually have Con below Casp.
Not in vertical athleticism. I'm telling you, Con's a better vertical athlete than Casp. Cass isn't a very good vertical athlete at all. Khan at least has dunks on people in the collegiate arena. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it
feel
further.
very confident in that. But anyway,
for me, I actually say that with my whole chest. I believe Khan is a better vertical athlete than Casp. But like I said, that's a debate we can have. We don't need to get hung up on it on our big board.
Yeah. But like there's both incredibly savvy players with how they play. Like the thing with I think Khan is a lot more efficient, and you see that not only with the playmaking but with the shooting.
Right.
I do have questions about Casp in terms of like the turnovers. Like if I want you to, if I'm drafting you to be my lead ball handler of the future, like how are you going to take that load at the next level? And I think the turnovers is going to be an issue that he will have to iron out most definitely. With Khan, you don't have that issue.
No, he takes very good care of the ball.
So like, again, I think two different kinds of players. Like you're not going to have Khan run your offense all the time like you are Casp, or at least you're not drafting him to be that individual. Maybe he can grow into that. That'd be great.
Right.
But as of right now, you're not drafting him to be that.
No.
But I think both are incredibly skilled, like winning basketball players, especially if you get them in the right system.
Absolutely. At number 8, I have Kaman Malawach. Who you got at number 8?
Did you steal my big board or something and just switch them? I have Asa and Malawach flipped.
In fact, I hacked your computer, and I did. No, just kidding. We work a lot together, and we've talked about these prospects a lot. And, we just got that simpatico chemistry, Matt.
I guess so. But yeah, I have them flipped on mine.
Yeah, and the thing is, come on at 7'2", his ability to play above the rim, block shots, super long arms, nice touch around the basket. Ace is basically the same guy, just a little bit smaller. And they both actually are improved shooters as the year went on. Asa more than Kaman.
Yeah.
Because he had more opportunity to shoot them. One thing about Asa that stands out, a lot of people don't realize the difference between quickness, being fast, and suddenness. Asa has a suddenness about him that once he decides to go somewhere, man, he really moves, man. He can get there in a blink of an eye. Dirty Dancer says, that is as high as I've seen Pettiford.
We'll get to it.
We will get to it. And
I don't have Pettiford that high. I do have him somewhat high, though. But
so I want to, again, go back to what I prefaced what a big board is. A big board is what you think the player will be in terms of, is he going to be better than this player? I think Pettiford is going to be one heck of an NBA player. And he may not get drafted this high, but I think he's worth the 11th pick. So we'll talk about that. But before that, Jeremiah Fears at number 10 coming in. Really improved as the season went on, and that really impressed me. The fact that he's quick as a hiccup, can get into the paint wherever he wants, walking paint touch, getting better at facilitating. His passing accuracy needs to get better, but he is getting better at it. He's a good facilitator, better finishing at the rim, and his jump shooting is going to have to get better. His size for me is a concern. Like, I don't know if he's a legit 6'4". We'll find out. But his body, he actually filled out his body while in college, which most players aren't capable of doing. So that tells me he's going to be even stronger once he gets to the league. I've come around on Jeremiah Fears. I like him a lot. Who do you got at number 10, Matt?
I have Jeremiah Fears.
What?
I'm not joking. I swear. No, I think I have more questions about Fears, though, than you do.
Yeah.
But I do like tantalizing upside with the playmaking. I really need to see him like actually be better at finishing.
I feel
if
like
he
you
gets to
did
the
in the
rim
tournament.
as much as he actually does, he can't shoot below 50% at the rim, which he did this year. That just cannot happen. At the
Um,
NBA level.
I don't know. See, I don't know about that because there's a lot of guards in the NBA that shoot below 50% at the rim. There's a lot of
There
them.
might be a lot of guards, but not like if you're exclusively someone who generates as many paint touches as he does,
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I get
like,
what you're saying.
and if you're a bad jump shooter, which he was,
He wasn't good.
like I'm gonna need that to be a little bit better. But again, like I think there is something there.
Yeah, the upside's too much to pass up. Like
Yeah,
the
so that's
upside's
why I
just
have
too
him
much.
10. And I do 100% agree in the sense that like he did get better as the season went on in multiple areas. It's just a matter of like, and again, I've said this about him before on here, and I want to clarify this for everyone. He reclassified.
Right.
He's supposed to be a senior in high school right now. He's not supposed to be a lead guard on an SEC team. Like that's just not that's not something he's supposed to be doing right now. And he did it to the best of his ability after a really slow start in conference play. Like there was a while where I was just like, he might need to go back, just like
Right. I was there too. I was right with you.
improve his game a little bit. But then like he turned it up second half of conference play leading into the NCAA tournament, and he helped his team, make the NCAA tournament as a top 9 seed. Like that can't go unnoticed. And again, the just the upside of like, okay, as he continues to fill out, as he continues to get more reps as a facilitator, uh, as he continues to, develop his shot form, his mechanics, like I think there's like potential. It may take a little bit,
Yeah.
but I think there's like a lot of potential there. And so I think that's why I had him above some of the other names that I'm about ready to mention. But um
No, I get it.
there's
Makes a
something
lot of
there,
sense.
even though I do have questions about like all of that. His defense, I don't really think was that good at all. Like he's just skinny, I think was the
Yeah.
biggest thing.
He
Some of
gets
the
pushed
reps
around.
were just inconsistent. Like I don't like there were some reps where I saw where like he just wasn't moving his feet as quickly as someone with his kind of like north south quickness should
Right.
On the perimeter. But he was a fun player to watch, especially toward the end of the season. And I really do think like you just have to give it some time. You have to invest the resources into it because I think he'll work at it, and I think he'll, you know, this isn't for like like his deficiencies aren't for a lack of like not trying or anything like that. There's
For
not
sure. And you saw that with the growth throughout the season.
right.
The growth is a big indicator when you're looking at these young guys projecting of what they're going to be. Like I always go back to Ben Simmons. I always do because it's a perfect example of a kid in college who never got any better, went to the pros, never got any better. He was the same guy throughout the entire process. Now, speaking of a guy that can shoot, Tahad Pettiford, I have at number 11 on my big board. Tahad Pettiford was one of the best big game players in the entire country. Whenever Auburn needed buckets in big games or needed somebody to show up, that guy was Tahad Pettiford. He has NBA level elite quickness, ball handling ability, shot making ability. I think his measurables are going to be better than people anticipate in terms of wingspan and hand size, which is very important. And his ability to facilitate. The guy sees the game like he's an older player, and he's really young. Now, he's going to have trouble defensively at that size because he's not very strong and he's not very heavy either. He's like 170 pounds, 175 pounds, maybe. But I like him a lot, man. There's just intangible things about the way he scores you cannot replicate. Who did you have at number 11, Matt?
I had Jace Richardson.
Hey, it's like our boards are similar. So that's my number 12.
I will say this. I do have Pettiford at 20. The reason why
it's fine.
I have him lower than you is the size.
He's very small. This is the Rob Dillingham conversation.
Huh?
This is the Rob Dillingham conversation.
I was just about to say that. I was like, such a tantalizing player. He was so awesome this year, despite the lack of counting numbers. Like, if you just
right.
if someone looks at his counting numbers, they're gonna be like, "What?" But like, if you like sat down and like watched how he processed things, watched his shot making capabilities from multiple levels, watch how he kind of ran that offense when it wasn't going through Broom. It was something that's like, okay, there's the makings of like a really talented player here. Like this is, I think, no matter where I have Pettiford on here, he's going to be like a legit good NBA player.
Right.
I just am very worried about like teams are going to be like, I'm hunting you
right.
at the NBA level, and that's where it's just like, okay, how is that going to limit his upside, his opportunity?
Yeah.
He'll compete, no question. But I do have that question with him, and like he can still, grow into his body a little bit, um,
Well,
and hold his own. Like he can be a very good NBA player, no question.
and there are young. There's a proven track record of these smaller guards though that can defend, and they're very savvy and they have quick hands. They play angles really well. You know what I mean? They compete. They may not be great defensively, but they compete. And I think he'll be able to do some of that. But here's the difference between him and Dillingham, in my opinion. Pettiford changes speeds really well, changes directions extremely well. Something Rob didn't do. He did not do any of that. And I think he has a better feel for the game as a passer. So I think he's going to be able to facilitate better at the next level. But the next guy we had on our list was Jace Richardson. And in that Michigan State system, he absolutely excelled and thrived. He was outstanding, man. His ability to get into the paint anytime they needed him to at the end of games is really something Izzo doesn't do for freshmen.
Yeah.
It's usually run the system, get the ball to the paint, run 1990s basketball. They needed a bucket, man. It was Jace Richardson time and time again. And his body control is outstanding. His 3-point shooting was outstanding. Good defender, man. I like him a lot. Really quick, Matt, before we get into your number 13 pick, if you're watching, don't forget to like and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Leave us a comment like Dirty Dancer because we want to interact with you. Same thing if you're watching on playback.tv/hoops profile. Leave a comment. We want to talk to you guys. Dirty Dancer says, this is one of the scariest drafts with guys who are small and don't look the type all over.
A little bit.
There are some small guys. I tell you what, there are some small guards that can't shoot in this draft, which is very perplexing.
You didn't even say you could have had me at. You could have just eliminated the small guards part and just said guards.
Right.
Just
There's guards in this draft who can't shoot. Yes.
Yeah, it's not great. And
yeah,
Pettiford, to his credit, like we talked about, 37% 3-point shooter. He's
dude one of the can light it up.
Can actually shoot, assuming he keeps his name.
And it's not like they're all wide open threes.
Right.
He can shoot off the bounce.
So you 13. How am I higher on this guy than you are? Thomas Sorber.
The injury is why. I'm very high on Sorber.
Oh, that's why I had him. I know at one point you had him as your best big in the class, and I said he's 3 on mine, and he's still 3 on mine.
Yeah, it's his injury.
Just because.
But now that you mention it, where is him? Oh, I have him at 20. That's not right. I was messing around with this board. That's definitely not right. He's going up, probably above Queen.
This is scary, dude.
I don't know if he goes above Queen.
This is scary because I have Queen 14. I have 13.
Oh, do you really?
Sorber Queen, yeah. This is crazy. Like what?
Yeah.
Why did you
get out of my brain, Matt Hanifan? Get out of my brain.
Steal my board, dude. No.
I'm a hacker.
Yeah, I had Sorber there above Queen. I've said it before. The injury for someone who's 6'11", a foot injury, is terrifying.
That's what scares me about him, man. It scares me about him. But he's also a freshman. Maybe he could bounce back because he's young. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Scary.
But dude, his hands, the way he's like when he operate offense above the break or in the mid post with the ball in his hands, like him directing traffic. His free throw numbers, I think, give me confidence that he will develop a shot at some point.
Right.
Like, yeah, I thought he had pretty good form.
He was shooting well from 3 right before he got injured. Like he had like a 3-game stretch where he was like
yeah,
looking really comfortable out there, and then he got injured.
yeah. The rebounding, him defensively, like the shot blocking, his hands, his coordination is crazy. We've talked about it all year, like how physical he played. Like he doesn't look like the most physical guy in the world, or at least
Right.
not in my eyes, but like he plays
He's incredibly strong. Like
yeah.
this 18, 19-year-old kid was just moving like these older prospects just out of the way. Like
Yeah.
dude is just so strong. And it goes back to his hand size and grip strength. If there was a loose ball and he got his hands on it, it was his.
Yeah.
Just vice grips for hands, dude. Yeah. Love Sorber, dude. You're right about that. I was moving my board all around and I missed that. So good catch by you.
I skipped 12.
Who do you have 12?
Ben Seraph.
Wow, you're really high on Ben Seraph. I'm high on him too, but you're really high on Ben Seraph. I like it.
I'm more confident about Seraph than I am Sorber with the injury and Derek Queen. I guess that was my logic for having him.
Where do you come down on Rasheer Fleming?
I have him 15.
So I have Fleming 13 because it's very rare to find a guy 6'9" that shoots like 43% from 3.
Yeah, that's very true. Very
6'9", super long arms, 3-and-D capable guy. Sign me up, man. That's why I have him 13. Derek Queen, I have 15. Let's talk Derek Queen because I know people are very interested in Derek Queen.
I have him 14. So yeah, let's do it.
Derek Queen, to me, has potential offensively in the league. He is very skilled. Very skilled. Reminds me of Şengün a lot, actually, because he's not very explosive. But he can handle the ball. He's got good footwork, great touch, extremely skilled. My problem with Derek Queen, and the reason why I have him at 15, he doesn't rebound great when he's up against other bigs that are good. He isn't going to be able to switch on the perimeter defensively. So if you don't rebound well, you can't really be switchable. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough in the NBA for you.
Not even just that. He can't play and drop.
Yeah, well,
he's undersized for a drop. He's 6'9", and he's a drop big exclusively.
Yeah.
And he can't switch.
And he doesn't rebound well.
Like, it's just like, I have him 14. Did I feel good about it? Not at all. I actually almost had him a lot lower than 14. But it's
Dirty Dancer
like,
says,
I have
though,
him 14. I am betting on like him being such an awesome offensive player.
Oh, he's going to have to be an all-star offensive player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I do think there is a world where that's the case.
Maybe.
But it's just
Dirty Dancer says, I doubted his fit in college. I'm done betting against him. He's done. He's seen enough. Don't bet against Derek Queen. According to Dirty Answer, I got Ben Seraph 16th. I love Ben Seraph's game. Dude's quick, great handle, great in a PNR, great feel for the game, competitive as all get out. One thing that stood out to me with Ben Seraph, and people need to pay attention to these things, he would come off the bench. Every time he came off the bench, his team would come back.
Yeah.
Because they weren't great. They weren't a great team. Every time he'd sit down, they'd lose the lead again. And then he'd come back in the game and they'd get it back. Like he affected their chances to win games. Also, in the beginning of the season, I watched when he played a preseason game against the Blazers. He was so skinny. My man's put on at least 10 pounds of muscle during the season.
Yeah.
And he's a better defender than people give him credit for. I love Ben Serif's game. We talk about him all the time. LeBaron Philon, I have at number 17. Over Nolan Traore.
Where did I have Philon? Oh, I had him way low. Okay.
Yeah, I think you're going to change your tune on that when we start talking about LeBaron Philon a little bit more. But really quick, Amir from Team to Beat Heat says Adel thinks the Heat should what? Pick up Stojakovic. He's going back to school, buddy. He's going back to school. He won't even be in this draft. Who'd you have at 17?
Well, I didn't even say 16 on mine. I had Carter Bryant.
That's a good one. I like Carter Bryant. Where do I have Carter? 27th.
I have Carter Bryant 16 and then I have Neek 17.
So there's a couple of things that I got to think through. I like Carter Bryant, what his potential is to be. But I have some serious questions about can he ever realize that potential? Because he can't dribble. He has zero handle,
Correct.
man.
Correct.
How can you be an NBA wing if you can't dribble at all?
I mean, we could say the same thing about Fleming too. Like
I think Fleming has a better handle than Carter Bryant.
I agree, but he's also older.
That's a good point. Good point. I could be convinced that Carter Bryant could move up my board.
It's the upside.
I could be convinced that Nick Clifford could slightly move up my board. But I don't think I could move him that far. I don't think I could even move him over Cam Jones.
I have Cam Jones 2 spots below.
Yeah. Nolan Traore is my number 18 pick. Who do you have at 18?
Danny Wolf.
I have Danny Wolf 19. Quit hacking into my board.
I'll say the same thing to you.
Amir says Adele said that Flag, Harper, and Edgecombe are all busts. I'm going to stop reading your comments, Amir.
That's tough, Adele.
Dirty Dancer says he should go back to Arizona. That's Carter Bryant.
I agree.
Because he's an Arizona fan. I believe he should go back to school.
I have him high. I have him 16, but like, if I'm being completely real, I do think if I had, it'd be like a 55-45. Yeah, I'd probably want him to go back too.
So Nolan Traore, let's talk about this because of why I have Nolan Traore over him. In a professional league, Traore averaged like 8 assists per game. He ran the show for his French team. They list him at 6'4", but I'm highly, highly, highly skeptical. And even if he is 6'4", he's a toothpick. He's super skinny. That being said, he's very quick, very good with the dribble, terrible finisher at the rim. And he's another one of these guards that can't shoot. So even though people had him in like lottery pick conversations, no way, man. No way. Pick 18, I think, is a good spot for him. 19 is Danny Wolf. If you've listened to us talk about these prospects all year, you know how much we like Danny Wolf. 7 foot, 250, versatile. Does it all. Rebounds, shoot, get to the rim, defend. Who do you have at number 20? Because
Pettiford.
I got to keep. Oh, yeah, we talked about that. I got to flip some of these guys around. I really don't like Demeen, man. Jaeger's game, I'm not a fan.
I have him. Do you want to know where I have him?
Where do you have Jaeger Demeen?
27.
That's a good spot. I just don't know how far I can go. Like, I feel bad. I don't feel good about putting Jaeger down this low.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I can go lower than 23rd. And I don't know if I can put a Thoreau 22nd. What am I? I don't know if I can do that.
Oh yeah, he's not a first round guy on mine.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. And then we're getting in some nasty territory.
Dude, I know.
We're getting into some nasty
Listen, man, we were
territory.
getting into nasty territory at like 15. Like, what are we talking?
No, I don't know about nasty. I wouldn't call it nasty. I'm higher on those prospects than you are, I think.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, we're getting into nasty territory where it's just like, okay, I have questions about Derek Queen being in my top 15.
Yes. There's going to be questions for sure.
That's kind of more so what we pretty similar top 15.
Dirty Dancer says it gets a little nasty at 6.
I mean,
I guess it depends on your definition of nasty.
Yeah.
Liam McNeely at number 20. Nah, Boogie Fland. Sorry. No. Liam McNeely at number 20. I'll tell you why. Here's why. He's an elite shooter, and he can draw fouls. He could be a connector, a high-level connector at the size that he plays. They list him didn't they have him at like 6'10" in college?
I didn't think it was that much.
I'm pretty sure that's what they had him listed at.
6'8", 6'9". I could be wrong though.
Yeah, hold on. Let's see. Liam McNeely, UConn. Let's see what they list him at on Sports Reference. They list him at 6'7". Okay, 6'7". So, for once, Fanspo's right. 6'7" high-level connector. I can see it. Where do you have Liam McNeely?
I have him 22.
Not bad. Who do you have 21?
I have Proctor.
Oh, I forgot about Proctor. Where's he at on my board? Oh, yeah. There's Tyrese.
I did not get past 40, I think, on mine.
Well, this is what I meant by like I was adding people. Like I didn't get this far into my board, but I was adding people. Where do I want to put Proctor? Let's talk this through.
I don't know, man. Like, especially the stuff that I saw late in the season or as the season went on.
Oh, he was very good.
Like the 3 and D, but I can be a secondary ball handler if I need to be.
I don't know if I'm there with him defensively. I'm not there with him defensively.
I thought he was really good defensively. Maybe that part of that might be due to the context that he was in, but like I legit thought that he was like a solid individual defender.
I don't see
on that team.
I thought he played decent defensively. I just didn't see him as like a 3 and D guard. I don't see him as a point of attack defensive type guy. Dirty Dancer says Proctor's like Nimhard this year. Don't want to be too low on him because I'm bored. Okay.
But yeah, I have him 21 in between McNeely and Pettiford.
I would probably put him above Jaeger. And I'd probably put him right above Thoreau. So I'm going to put McNeely as a high-level connector at 20. He could be a pro for 20 years just being a connector. That's the way I look at McNeely. Boogie Fland, I have at 21. Because I think Boogie gets a bad rap because he didn't have the opportunity to show his growth. He had that injury.
Yeah. I love Boogie, man, but like that with the fact that he just didn't play because he was hurt, which isn't his fault, but
that's the thing, right?
Yeah, I have him 25. And I love, but like we know how big of a fan of Boogie Fland
I do. Yeah, I do.
I was early in the season when he was I had him
when he was actually playing
top 10 or at least close to it.
Oh, definitely. I loved Boogie Fland, man. So I got him at 21. There's just so many unanswered questions because we weren't able to see the growth. Like, Jace Richardson, growth was a big part of our evaluation.
Yep.
Well, who's the other guy? Who was the other guy that we just talked about?
I mean, Pettiford was another one.
Todd Pettiford, yep.
Fears.
Growth. Jeremiah Fears, Yep, growth. LeBaron Philon, we were able to see growth.
Yeah.
Now, it wasn't as big as fears, but it was still growth. And so the fact that you weren't able to see that just leaves so many unanswered questions is why I have him at 21. But I can't drop him much lower because I think as a freshman, he is just as talented as Cam Jones. As a freshman. Now, Cam Jones is more polished because he's been in school forever. But I just think the upside's way too high with Boogie. Cam Jones is my number 22. Who do you have at 22?
Oh, I had Cam Jones 19.
Cam Jones at 19, the senior from Marquette.
22, I have McNeely, and then 23 right after him, I have Traore.
Nolan Troy. Okay, I have Nick Clifford at 23. Nick Clifford is either going to be really, really good in the NBA or he's going to be a bust. I don't think there's going to be any in between.
Oh, come on. Come on. He'll be he's a very, very, very good role player for someone, I think. But maybe that's just my own bias.
It could be the Matt Hanifan bias. Wait. There's a sound effect for that. Where is it? There it is.
Hey, man, he made me dislike him for 2 or 3 times a year. Whenever he would play my team, but no, again, like the knock on Neek is something I very much understand. Is like he's older than me, or he maybe not quite as old as me, but like
right.
he's an old player. But like again, I've talked about it before. Just the growth, the all around prowess that he has. Like he was one of the best defenders in like among like non-power programs. At least wing defenders, and then how awesome he was as like a lead creator, a rebounder, like
he did everything.
All the awesome stuff. He's not going to have that kind of responsibility at the next level, but there's a reason why I have him 17.
I got you. I'm rooting for the
I love Neek, man.
I know you do.
If he draft Neek Clifford, oh man.
You will lose your mind.
Oh man. Yeah, and like I understand the Heat don't really need him, but who cares? It's Neek Clifford.
It's Neek Clifford. I get it. 25, I have Adel Thoreau, the bull in a china shop. I will ram my way to the basket at all costs. Ooh. Athletic, good defender. Can he shoot? 26, I have Jaeger Denman. Somebody's going to reach and take him really high. And they're going to be very disappointed.
I feel that way about McNeely. I feel that way about... Who else do I feel that way about? Traore.
Yeah.
Colin Murray-Boyles.
Oh, Colin Murray-Boyles is going to be so disappointing, man. People love... It's so polarizing because people love Colin Murray-Boyles. I don't see it. I just don't.
We're like the only two people on planet Earth who are like, I don't know about this, man.
Yeah. We're the only two.
Yeah, if I had $1 for
they're like, he's the number 9 pick. Easy all day, number 9.
Hey, listen,
what?
I'll be happy to be wrong about this, but if I had $1 for every single time I saw him in someone's like top 5 or top 10,
oh my god, dude, it's crazy.
I would be so rich. Yeah, 25. I have Boogie. I have him right by. So I had 23. Troy.
Can somebody tell me this though before you go on? How he can be a top 8 player and there's at least 8 games where I didn't even notice he was on the floor.
Everyone has different perceptions, I guess. I don't know.
But when I watch a player, I isolate on that player. I'm like focused on him. I didn't even notice he was there. I would drift off and be like watching something else because he just did nothing. I don't get it, dude. I don't see the appeal. But go ahead, continue. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I had Traore, and then I had Philon, and then I had Boogie 25. I just the growth part of it. 26, I had Walter Clayton Jr.
Okay, you're higher on Clayton Jr. than I am.
I wouldn't say that. I mean, I guess you do have him third, so technically, but I still don't know if I would take him. And as I said before, I don't think I would take him in like the top 20 or 25, and so 26
Right.
felt appropriate. Um, but it's more so like I'm lower on Demon, Murray Boyles.
Yeah,
And
I'm
then,
pretty low on Boyles and Denman too, but I don't
well,
know if I can move them
yeah,
below Clayton because of upside. But Murray
maybe.
Boyles actually, I don't see a fit, man. I don't know where he's going to fit in the league. Period.
Well, where'd you take him in our mock?
I don't even remember, dude. I
It
don't.
was like it was like the late. No, I think it was Minnesota.
Yeah, it was
Where I'm
something
just like,
crazy.
where I was just like, wait, you're getting another big who can't shoot?
Exactly, dude.
Yeah, it's tough with them. But yeah, I have him 28, and then just to round out our 30, I have Caravan 29, and then Kalkbrenner 30.
Kalkbrenner.
But
Ugh.
it's those are more like I have Thoreau 32.
Right.
I have Janai right behind Kalkbrenner at 31.
Right.
I have Chaz Lanier 33.
Yeah, as I look through these names, I'm not encouraged by.
Yeah, it gets really
Yeah.
tricky later because it's like I don't know who's gonna be. I have Will Riley 39.
Yeah, I got him 31 because of upside. In
I
fact,
could probably be talked into that.
well, so in fact, I was just thinking like Noah Asengu, I like him, but I don't know, man. Yeah, it's tough. It gets real tough. Drake Powell's going back to school, right?
I think so. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I can't wait till the finalized list comes out because it gets annoying. Like, oh, my name's in the portal, but I may go back. I'm not really sure. But yeah, man. So that's the show, guys. That's our top 30 big board. We will do a full big board eventually once we get a finalized list of players. But just know that we don't like the game, the essence that is Will Riley.
I didn't know you were. I had no idea what route you were going to go there.
I didn't either until I said it.
I was going to say, just know that Adel stole my board and made modifications.
Just know that I hacked into Matt Hanifan's computer and I stole his big board. That's correct.
No, I'm just kidding.
My college degree is a fake. I copied people's answers. I do not own a college degree. But no, in all seriousness, there's an exercise I want to do later on that I think you guys are really going to enjoy. We're going to compare this year's first round of the draft to the Victor Wembanyama draft. And I think there's going to be some interesting parallels, and it's going to be a good litmus test for how strong we think this draft is actually going to be. So that'll be a podcast to come. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Appreciate all of you. Matt, tell the people where they can find you, follow you, and get more of your work.
You can find me at NPH_824_ on Twitter. You can find me at podonhoops.com, mountainwestconnection.com, VedenaSportsMedia.com, in addition to playback.tv/5RSN and playback.tv/hoops profile, which we are at right now.
Right now. Before we get out of here, Dirty Dancer says, guys with that Anthony Randolph build make me nervous.
That's
who are you talking about?
Is he talking about Murray Boyles?
I guess. Well, and is he talking about Zach Randolph? Who's Anthony Randolph? Or is he combining Zach Randolph and Anthony Bennett? Dirty Dancer says Will Riley. Yeah, man. Will Riley.
There was someone named Anthony Randolph in the NBA. He didn't ever do anything, but
yeah, maybe he was talking about Anthony Randolph.
Lottery pick 2008.
Boom. That's probably the guy. Will Riley, for much of the season, I was really confused about what people were saying. They were like, oh, lottery pick potential. I'm like, huh? That guy? towards the end of the season, he looked like a functional basketball player.
Right.
Still isn't a lottery pick, but he at least looked like he could play basketball. So there was growth, and we're always looking for growth, but his baseline was so low that not enough. Just not enough. But all right, guys, that's enough for us today. We'll see you next time.